It started a year ago. Crunchyroll released their 2017 awards. My Hero Academia took most of the vital positions, yet Suyu was denied the title of Best Girl. This led me into madness, my body suddenly producing so much salt it contaminated the atmosphere. This prompted the mysterious Weeaboo Eradication Unit to pursue me, and finished with me killing one of their elite members, Lexington Smyers. Due to me being wanted in all countries allied with them, I went into hiding. Now that the Crunchyroll Anime Awards 2018 are out, I suppose I have no option but to go to war.
Hello? Oh, so nothing happened at the awards? Like nothing eventful at all? Oh, well, my winning Best Girl, that's quite good. I mean, Makia not being nominated, that was... it's Crunchyroll, I shouldn't expect too much. Yeah, I suppose I could continue the storyline, like, in another video or something. I don't know, maybe roll it out around about my anniversary or something? Yeah, God knows, God knows. Oh fuck, I just hit the camera. Well, actually, I did have an idea for what I'd do this week, you know, if that didn't fall through. So, you know, anthologies? Anthologies, you know, they're kind of a collection of stories put under a large banner, sometimes having unifying themes. Surely you know at least one anthology. Oh, here's one you'll definitely know. It's on Netflix. It's a sci-fi one. No, for God's sake. Black Mirror.
For some reason I was hesitant to get into Black Mirror, because being a dumb little shit I thought I had to catch up with too much. But as is the beauty of anthologies, there is no designated order. I was introduced a couple of years ago when our PE teacher was away, so we went into a classroom to do some supply work. The teacher, whose classroom we had been assigned to, was not willing to let us get in the way of her Netflix break, so she put up an episode of Black Mirror on the whiteboard. So I spent that hour multitasking between watching Nosedive and working on my Your Name stage play video script, which I dare say is the best time anyone has ever had in a PE lesson. So that summer I watched most of the other episodes, but then the fourth season came out at the end of the year, and a year later Bandersnatch, which marked Netflix's odyssey into interactive content, along with other works like Minecraft Story Mode. But for the three of you who don't know, Black Mirror has each of its 40 to 90 minute episodes focus on the dangers of future or even present technology, and I suppose this would make it a cyberpunk, which makes me wonder why I didn't pick it up earlier. Well, as I said, there is no specific order. A friend of mine showed me this tier list, which could be useful if you're trying to start the series. I also happen to start with Nosedive, so, you know, it's a pretty serviceable episode and I'll get onto it later. For me, I can't pick my favourite overall, so I'll just go through it season by season. In terms of impactful messages, Season 1 is the best, with Entire History of You showing us the problems brought about by knowing what others did in the past, 15 Million Merits predicting the problems of corporate-approved wokeness, suppose they could have replaced the glass razor with a Gillette razor, and the National Anthem showing us the dangers of if our Prime Minister fucked a pig, which is really funny until Ash Crofton showed us the Pikachu that was in Cameron's Pokeballs. Or rather, Cameron's Pokeballs were in a pig. 2015 jokes, who misses them? Season 2 was the middle ground, where it was caught between social commentary and fucked up shit. My favourite from Season 2 is White Christmas, mainly on account of how fucked up it is and the way all three of the side stories contributed to the same twist. Season 3 is when it peaked in terms of production value and ambition, because that's when Netflix picked it up, and I'm undecided on whether I prefer Nosedive's hilarity yet well-inserted commentary, or Shut Up and Dance's tension and its ending twist's shock value.
Lindsay's Lord, the video reviews, you're doing like how all of her friends have got it. Kids get it! Now we don't know.
Remember, this is what happens if you think that Hachikuji is best girl. This PSA was brought to you by Senjo Gahara Gang. Season 4 I don't have as much to say about, but I guess my favourite from that one is, in a controversial choice, Crocodile, because it depicts the most terrifying future of them all. One where Scottish people have taken over Iceland.
The next anthology I'd like to talk about is also a sci-fi, although this will take me into a realm I never thought I'd have to journey into on this channel. Literature. Oh, by the way, there's going to be a lot of unnecessary cuts, because, I mean, I am not going to do this all in one take. So, The Illustrated Man, it's a book by Ray Bradbury in the 1950s. It was written. That's a weird way to order things. But, yep, it's 17 different sci-fi stories, all told on a man's back. Yeah, it requires a bit more explanation than that. Basically, man gets a magical tattoo which, like, shows moving images on his back. Yeah, and those tattoos display the future, so we get kind of 18 different stories of the future. Although, because I'm... not the mic. Because I'm a Briton, it means I got a slightly different print from what the Americans got. And it's added a few different stories and took away a few different stories. Although one of the stories it added is actually my favourite, called Usher 2, which it's about a future in which media, especially books, are heavily policed, and a rich man decides to build his own version of Edgar Allan Poe's House of Usher, except when the moral authorities come round to kind of check if it's up to scratch, and they all get murdered one by one, they don't know why this is happening because they've never read Edgar Allan Poe's House of Usher. So it's an interesting critique on censorship when you come to think of it. Yeah, I am going to have to go into a different cut now. Well, there have been adaptations of The Illustrated Man. They only tend to pick out like 3 stories, and from the 1969 film it was, I think, I'm probably not correct, 0 Hour, Kaleidoscope, and... oh, and The Veldt. So The Veldt, out of those 3, is my favourite. It kind of shows the dark side to imagination. 0 Hour, you know, it's quite good, although concept of creepy children, you know, much more overdone now than it probably was back in the 50s. Kaleidoscope's good. It is basically just a slightly more sarcastic version of the first 10 minutes of Gravity. But even then, I think kind of those 3 aren't as good as some others in the book, like... The Other Foot, I think that's a brilliant look at revenge. And The Rocket, that's also a very nice one, quite sweet, one of the likeable characters. There's apparently a Zack Snyder movie of The Illustrated Man in the works, although given the man's personal situation, I doubt we're going to be seeing it anytime soon. So the next anthology I want to talk about is Haruki Murakami's Men Without Women. It kind of deals with the theme of loneliness from a guy's perspective. And one other thing, basically everyone gets cucked in this book. Like, throughout, I think there's 7 stories in this. 6 of them feature at least 1 cucking, and some of those 6 feature at least 2 cuckings. Cucking isn't the main part of the book, obviously. If any of you know Haruki Murakami, he's quite quirky as an author. Although, yes, he is much better when he's trying to write kind of, you know, down-to-earth character stuff. Well, not necessarily down-to-earth, because, you know, some of them are a wee bit weird and do feature a healthy sprinkling of incest. But, you know, besides that, kind of books like Kafka on the Shore, you know, I find those really great. 1Q84, less so much, because it tries to have a plot, just... It kind of loses steam at parts, you know. Some characters are more interesting than others, it just... Yeah, but Men Without Women, it's really, you know, focused on its characters. My favourite of the 7 stories is the one with the hardest name to pronounce, so I'll put the word up here, and I'm just going to call her Charizard for the time being. It's about a guy who meets a woman who, you know, routinely comes around to play Monopoly with him. So after playing Monopoly, she tells him a story, and, you know, it could be anything, like she remembers her previous life as an eel, when she broke into another guy's house, and when she was like a teenager because she had a crush on him, and then she just kind of casually inserts, oh yeah, I remember what it was like in the womb, what can't you? Although, you know, other great characters, I think, I can't remember exact names, one of them is called Kitaru, Kitaru from Drive My Car, and there's the story called Yesterday is melancholic, yeah, also quite fun. My least favourite is Kino, which is, it's about a dude at a bar, kind of, you know, you're not really sure why things are happening, or who is who, but, you know, kind of at the end it all, you know, there's a reason for it not making sense, so, you know, it kind of slides. But, yeah, this is a very well-written anthology. But now as I get on to the last anthology of today's video, it's got a wee bit to do with this.
So a big fan of Murakami's works is Makoto Shinkai, and this shows in Shinkai's works, although that's a video for another day. Comics Wave Films, prompted by the success of Your Name, started work on 2 other projects. Shinkai's Weathering With You, which is releasing this July, and the other, which didn't have Shinkai involved with it, but was instead a collaboration with Chinese studio Howliners, called Flavors of Youth. This is the one I'm going to be talking about. It covers 3 stories from 3 different cities over 3 different cultural aspects of China. As expected, the backgrounds are beautiful, being a refreshing change of pace from the Tokyo skyline that we see in most comics wave movies, and instead shows the skylines of Beijing, Guangzhou, and Shanghai. I've almost definitely mispronounced one of them. There are homages to Shinkai littered throughout the first and last story. The second one kinda doesn't gel with me, not because it isn't very Shinkai-like, mainly just because it's kinda forgettable. The first one is a reference to some time-honoured Shinkaism of food porn. Although it's a little light on story, it actually works a lot better in its monologue format. The main event, however, is the third story, Love in Shanghai. The characters are engaging, and it has a good old oh shit moment at the end. Overall, the collection was interesting, and an interesting symbol of what might come from Japanese studios collaborating with Chinese studios. And that's it. I also made a video for Trugful. Go check it out.